Peter, sponsor my event, dude.
Thank you very much, Miles. Yeah, what's more appropriate to speak about events if you're at an event? Come on. Anybody here who has ever organized so far an event from you? Yeah, I see some. So you know very well, finding and managing sponsors can be really a pain in the ass, right? So that's a problem which is very common for most event organizers. A little bit less known is that for sponsors, for companies who are looking just to promote their companies through event marketing, it's just as difficult to find the right sponsorship opportunities. And that's actually the problem that we're solving, bringing together event organizers and event sponsors with our marketplace, which is called sponsormyevent.com. So we are matching event organizers with sponsors. So how does it work? Just to give you some overview over Sponsor My Event before I dive into the demo. Event organizers, they can simply publish their events on Sponsor My Event with all the necessary details, and then we're matching them actually with the right sponsors on one hand. On the other hand, sponsors or organizers can also invite all the sponsors that they're knowing already and manage their relationship with them through Sponsor My Event. Sponsors, on the other hand, they have the possibility also to manage all the sponsorship opportunities through sponsormyevent.com. So how does it work? You see here the main page of Sponsor My Event when you just come to the internet site. And if I scroll down a little bit, I see right away some events around San Francisco. United States has a second event here. It's New Tech Crawl 2015. So let's have a closer look at the event profile. So, ooh, some familiar face. Miles, I see you. So it's actually the event of Miles. He has created his event profile, and we see here right away, if you see a look at this event profile, the most important information. On one hand, when is it taking place, how many visitors are going to come, what kind of visitors are going to come, very important for the sponsors for sure. We could watch the video of Miles explaining what exactly it is. We see that it's also verified by Stripe, which gives extra security to sponsors. And we have, of course, here a description about the event itself, what it is, what can be expected, focused really for sponsors. On the right side, we have here the sponsor packages, so all those packages that the sponsor can buy right away through sponsormyevent.com. So I see here we have the supporter package of $2,500. Anybody here who wants to buy right away? Come on stage right away now here. You can pay with your credit card. It's extra easy. So I just click on more info if I want to purchase this package. I see here the details. I can add my contact information, the payment information, and I can pay right away for the sponsorship. For sure, we know that you have also to negotiate with the event organizer. That's why you can also message the event organizer prior to paying right away. Everything is possible. So that's basically how Sponsor My Event works. Let you give me a little overview of how it looks if you're on the organizer side and you want to create your event. So I have here the dashboard for the event organizer with my events. So I have created, of course, already a test event in this case. So I see my test event. I can just dive in. I have also some metrics here about visitors, etc. So I can see that I can edit all the necessary settings. I could also create an image gallery, some documents that I can upload. I can encode the different sponsor packages. It's unlimited in the number, so I have different possibilities also to accept both cash or in-kind sponsorships. I can also define, for example, what quantity of sponsor packages are available. And I can also invite my own sponsors. So you're not only limited to the 4,000 plus sponsors we have already in our database, but you can also say, hey, I have 10, 15, 20 brands that I would like to contact manually and just simply spread the word about my event. We had one event in Southern California recently. He invited 200 sponsors and was quite successful with it. So that's how it works from the organizer side. Just a quick glimpse at the sponsor side. So if you're a sponsor, you can create your profile completely for free, and by the way, you're going to remain invisible on the platform, so no spamming possible. But you can create filters, and that's something which is quite important. I can create filters just to determine what kind of events I'm interested in. So I have created here already a charity filter just specifically for New York. And you can see that I can define here exactly what kind of event, so the type of the event I would like to see. What target audience I am interested in. So maybe you're only interested in sports events taking place in New York, targeting only sports women. That's possible to filter here. You can indicate the location for sure, a radius, a budget, etc. So that's very easy, and like this you will receive a weekly digest with all the events which are coming in, which are interesting for you. That was Sponsor My Event in a nutshell. Any questions?
How long does it usually take to get a sponsor to buy in?
That's very difficult to say. It depends really on the event itself, on the quality of the event, on the completeness of the profile, where it takes place, how much money you're looking for. We had already events which were sponsored 24 hours just after they have been created. We had other ones who were laying on the shelf just eternally, so that's very difficult to predict. The only thing I can say, it's getting better and better as we have more and more sponsors on the platform, more and more sponsors also on different locations for sure, but in general, hard to predict.
I'm back here. The negotiations between the sponsor and event coordinator, it goes through the site only, solely. You can't speak directly to them.
You can speak directly. So we have a messaging system which is built in, which is also a reply to emails, so you don't have to leave now your email program, and still it will be in the system. But of course, we have a complete messaging system in, and we think even on going a step further, building in a video conference or a telephone conference solution that we're not going to develop ourselves in this case, but through an API, so that people could even use a platform just to make a telephone chat with a partner. Because we feel, especially when it comes to bigger sponsorships, that it's extremely important that there is a communication between sponsor and event organizer. And we are not one to block this, but instead we want to enable the people just to speak. And we see also in the messages that there is a lot of communication happening between event organizers and sponsors.
So do you do any background checks or verifications of events that are listed on the site? Or is there anything on your end that you do? Verify, like background checks on events to make sure that claims being made the events are factual.
Well, if it comes to background checks for the event itself, so what we do is we validate each event which is coming on the platform. So we go through it, we see are the facts really what is stated there on the event, are they making sense, are the links working usually. So that doesn't give 100% security for sure. But on the other hand, event organizers, they want to receive the money, and as you have seen, we work with Stripe, so this payment provider here, mainly in the US, quite popular. And if you want to receive the money, you need to create an account on Stripe, and Stripe has very tough verification mechanisms up to verification of the ID, and that gives extra security. So a sponsor who's paying some money through Sponsor My Event to an organizer knows exactly that the person who's receiving the money has been verified by the very tough mechanisms of Stripe, and that gives a very good security. So we have a double mechanism.
Okay, so the sponsors and the event organizers, do they pay to get in the marketplace, or do they only pay after there's been a transaction?
Well, we have a different combination of revenue sources. So first of all, event organizers and sponsors, they can sign up completely for free. So there is no sign-up fee at the beginning. What we take is, on one hand, a commission on each deal which is made, which is ranging between 5% and 10%, which is not so much compared to normal sponsorship agencies. Our main income source is additional packages that we propose to event organizers. So, for example, if you're an event organizer, you can sign up your event completely for free. You have all the basic functionality, but if you want, for example, to create an image gallery or have document upload, to have a PDF export of your profile, this is a paid package, for example. So there we have monthly subscriptions of $49 per month. You can also opt for a bigger package, which gives you even better visibility towards sponsors. That means you have a dedicated email which is sent out to sponsors who are interested. You have a higher ranking in our search engine. So that's a package for $99. Sponsors, they don't pay anything at all because we think they are paying already for the event, so why should we ask them simply to pay anything else? So for the moment, for sponsors, it's completely for free. What we're going to do is in 2016, we're going to introduce a bigger version of Sponsor My Event, especially dedicated for bigger sponsors who have a lot of opportunities to manage. Not only those opportunities coming in from Sponsor My Event, but also those coming from their own internet site. And just to manage these opportunities, we will create a SaaS solution based on Sponsor My Event for sure, and that's going to be then also for sure for sponsors a paid solution.
I've got a question with 5 seconds left. How do you court sponsors? How do potential sponsors know that this is a resource? And sponsorship as a whole is such a wide array of different interests. Like,
well, how do we find sponsors? It's very viral, our system. So there are different things. First of all, we have sponsors who are signing up simply because they found the internet site. They were Googling something as a traction channel, so they found it, they sign up. So that's happening quite often. The second thing is that, of course, every event organizer who's publishing his event makes it also more or less viral and more or less visible. That means there are sponsors who just simply see the event because they have been maybe contacted by some organizer. They get to know about Sponsor My Event, and then they decide, oh, that's interesting for me. I'm going to sign up simply to discover what else is on the platform. That's one of the ways. And in general, it's very viral. So we have a lot of activity on Twitter. We have a lot of inbound marketing. And last but not least, what we do as well, we try to position very actively also sponsorship as a marketing channel, which is very often neglected. So most people, when they speak about marketing, they don't even speak about sponsorships. It's quite neglected. So we just push it simply to create the awareness that sponsorship is a very targeted, very focused market channel. And that works quite well for the moment.
right on. I like it. I want to see it work rest of UTEC.
Thanks, Miles.
Peter, thank you so much. Sponsor My Event.